assignment 48, and here we go, this is on ratio. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers, not one, not three, not five, not a mixed number. It has to have two numbers and no more than two. So, for example, on this one here, if I'm comparing 6 girls to 8 boys, right? I leave it just like that. That is my ratio. You can go ahead and reduce it. However, if I had, for example, 8 boys to 6 girls, I do not make it into a mixed number. Okay, I do not make it into a mixed number because that's not, I'm not comparing the girls and boys. So boys to girls, girls to boys, and you never have it in mixed form. So let's go ahead and look at this. That's too hard. Some of these I don't even want. All right, so let me go down to this one here. Write a ratio as a fraction in simplest form for each situation. 6 rainy days out of 15 days. It's 6 are rainy. Go ahead and label it. So label it as I'm labeling it. 6 are rainy. Out of 15, I'll put a T for total. Can that be reduced?
No. Yes.
Doesn't 3 go into both of them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so these you can do right there. Divided by 3. Divided by 3. So it's 2 over 3. Then look at the one right below it.
Wait, it's 2 over 5.
2 over 5. Thank you. I owe you candy. And I'll get it for you in a second. 2 over 5. And it says, change to like terms when necessary, or like units. This is days and days, so I don't need to change it. But here, you're comparing 1 day to 1 week. I wouldn't put 1 over 1. They're different units. Who knows what I'm going to change? Am I going to change the 1 day to a week, or am I going to change the week to days?
Week to days.
The week to days. So it's 1 day out of how many days are in a week?
7.
Out of 7 total days. Okay. But we're basically doing the same unit.
Why is the week D?
Total days. Okay. And then on this one, it's 12. He got 12 correct out of a total of 16. Right. Can that be reduced?
Yes.
Yes. I can divide it by 4. So I get 3 out of 4. Got 3/4 of the test correct. 1 quarter to 2 nickels. They're not in the same unit. How many nickels are in a quarter?
5.
5. There's 5 nickels.
What was the gym?
All right, girls and boys. 5 nickels to 2 nickels. And you leave it just like that. You don't make it improper. Then on this one, it says 8 apples in a basket of 2 dozen apples.
24.
We've got to change it to 24. There's 12 in a dozen, and we've got 2 dozen, so it's out of 24. So it's going to be 8, and some of this I'm on crossover, 8 apples out of the 24. Can that be reduced?
1 over 3.
Yeah, divide it by 8, divided by 8. So it's 1 apple, I'll put A here, out of every 3 total apples. I'll put TA. Then 12 years compared to 36 years. So that's easy. And by the way, the first word goes first on top. So 12 over 36. Does 12 go into both of those?
Yeah.
So it's going to be 1 out of every 3. Yeah. Days in March compared to days in June. I don't have to change the unit because they're both days. So I have to say the little rhyme because I always forget. 30 days has September April, June, and November, 31 have all the rest except for February. So the days in March compared to the days in June. Who knows what that's going to look like?
30 over 31.
But you have to say it in the order of the words. What came first?
31.
Was March, so it has to be March over June, and March had 31 to 30. And then 18 girls to 12 boys. I have to put the girls first and then the boys. So how many girls were there?
18.
18 over 12. Can that be reduced? I think by 6 and 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And I don't make it into a mixed number. I need to be able to say there's 3 girls for every 2 boys. And then the last one here, 6 inches out of 1 yard. Do I put 6 over 1?
6 over 12.
No.
Well, somebody who said 6 over 12 has their idea that we've got to convert this. But if I had 1 foot, it would be 12 inches. I need inches and inches. So in 1 yard there, in how many feet in a yard? Oh, people. Guys,
Oh my God. 3.
3 feet in a yard. There's 3, so this is, I'm going to change this to 3 feet. But I still don't have it in inches. How many inches in 1 foot? 12. We need to work on our units because we need to know our units by now. So for every 1 foot there's 12, and 12 times 3 would be 36 inches. So now I'm going to write my 6 inches out of 36 inches. Can that be reduced by 6?
Yes. 1 over 6.
So it's going to be a ratio of 1 over 6. And that's that. Then we're going to see how much we're going to get there. 1 over 36, yeah. It's 6 over 36, and then we reduced it. Then flip it over here. We're only going to do, I don't want to do those. All right, we are going to find the unit rate. This is really important. The unit rate, U-N-I-T, is for 1. Think of that I is for 1. So let me do an easy one. So over here, and I'm going to put it in fraction form. I can go 105 revolutions, which is a turn of the wheel, in 3 minutes. But I don't want to know for 3 minutes. I want to know for 1 minute. So this is not a T, this is a fraction. Okay. So to get that to be a 1, I'm going to divide this by 3 and divide this by 3. So I don't think I'm going to do these at the bottom. So find a spot at the bottom, and we're going to go 105 divided by 3.
3 goes into 10.
3 goes into 10 3 times, you're right. 3 times 3 is 9.
35 times.
1, and you're right, it's going to be 35. 3 into 15 is 5, goes perfectly. So I'm going to bring that back up. So therefore, I can do 35 revolutions per 1 minute. And that is my answer. 35 revolutions per 1 minute, or I could write it like this: 35 revolutions per minute. Okay, is per minute. And here's another one. This one should be easy to do. So I've got, and this one I think we're going to do mentally. 100 meters. The thing with ratios is make sure that you're labeling meters. He did 100 meters in 10 seconds. but I don't want to know in 10 seconds. I want the unit rate per 1 second. So I want that bottom number to be a 1.
10 over.
What would I divide by 10 to get it to be 1?
10.
By 10. You divide it by itself. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. So I take 100 divided by 10, which is what? Oh dear.
10.
10. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So therefore, he can do 100 meters in 10 seconds or 10 meters per 1 second. We'll just do a couple more here. Okay. All right, then. So here's a ratio. He can read 510 words in 3 minutes, but I want the unit rate. The unit rate is per what?
Unit.
Per 1 unit. 510 in 3 minutes, but I want how many words he can read in 1 minute.
70.
So what would I have to divide the 3 by?
100.
What would I have to divide the 3 by to get it to be by 3? You divide it by itself. And what did you think it was?
170.
Oh my goodness, you're right. But for everybody else, let's go ahead and do that. So I know 3 divided by 3 is 1. So down at the bottom, 510 divided by 3 is going to be 1, goes in there 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Bring that down, that's a 1. 3 is in this. Genesis, you guys are saying Genesis is absent, but she's in my on level. I mean, my honor. But she's in this one. That's right. That's right, that's right. So I've got to counter. Genesis. Okay. So I saw, okay, girls and boys, I saw her today. Did she leave early? Okay. Okay. All right, so girls and boys, let's move on. All right, so here we go. So 3 goes into that 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21.
And
0, but I've got 1 more 0 to bring down. And 3 goes into 0 0 times. So he can read 170 words per 1 minute. And we will do the last one, the money one, and then we're not going to do any of those. Well, maybe. What? The rest is going to be super easy. All right. So, girls and boys, let's get done. So on this one is it cost $1.92. So here's my labeling, the money for 6 cans. I want to know what the cost is for 1 can. So who knows, how am I going to get from 6 to 1? We're going to divide. What are we going to divide by?
192.
No, what am I going to divide? How do I get? By 6. Okay. Divide by, sorry. So divide by 6, divide by 6. Okay, this group over here needs to stop. All right, so on this one. So we already know 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we're going to take 192 divided by 6. So over here, 1.92 divided by 6. Okay.
I don't know if it was you or my old student Marco, but they didn't have to make 6 points. I think it was the time. So it's the God to make it.
Well, you don't have to, in this case, because we don't have a decimal, sir, could you stop? Is because I don't have a decimal here, I don't need to move it. It's only when I've got a decimal on the outside. So on this one, again, but we're going to bring it straight up.
Yeah.
And then 6 does not go into 1, so O for no. And then we pick up the 19. 6 goes into 19 how many times?
3.
It goes 3. 3 times 6 is 18. And I'm watching what you're doing, Cameron. I'm not Cameron, is Dominic. Is subtract and bring down.
2.
And it goes into that 2 times. 2 times that is 12.
You said 35.
No, he said 32. Right. So, girls and boys. So again, the cost is 32 cents per 1 can. All right, and you can just leave it like that. Okay. Then we're going to do a couple of these just so you recognize what to do. It says, find two rates equal to the given ratio. So I can multiply this ratio by anything. Here we were dividing, but I could also say, well, how he can walk 3 miles in 1 hour. How far can he walk in 2 hours? So I'm going to multiply that by 2. How far can he walk in 2 hours? I'm multiplying it by 2 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. So this is 6 miles in 2 hours. It can be multiplied by anything. For example, I could multiply it by 5. So 3 times 5 is 15 miles. In 1 times 5 is 5 hours. So again, there's an infinite number that they're all equivalent as long as I multiply it by the same number. What's that? You can pick what you want. Normally when I give you a test, I'll say keep it to 2 and 3. You know, if I ask you for 2 others. But then there's some of them that I can, like this one here. I'm going to give 16 boxes out to 40 people. Can this be reduced?
Yeah.
What can I divide it by? What's the biggest number? How about 8?
Yeah, 8.
8 and 8. 16 divided by 8 is 2 boxes for every 40 divided by 8 is what?
5.
For every 5 people. And then from there, from the lowest reduced form, I could multiply it. I could multiply it if I want by 2 and 2. 2 times 2 is what?
4.
So it'd be 4 boxes per every 10 people. So again, these go on infinitely, so I just wanted you to get an idea. Here's one, let's do 2 on this one.
No,
I did.
410.
We divided it by 8. It's okay, he can look right up here. And then I took around after I reduced it and I multiplied them by 2 again to get another ratio. Yes, ma'am?
So we just pick any number?
You can pick any number for right now.
Oh.
Yeah. And then let's look at this one, but I'm going to help you. Normally, if it's got a 0 on top and 0 on the bottom, can I reduce this one? Yes. So it's 20 adults, might be chaperones for 50 children. So let's cross off a 0 and cross off a 0. What would be left? So 2 adults for every how many children?
5.
For every 5 children. And we're just going to do that one once. Just leave that like that. Like that. Okay. So just know that you can do that. We're going to do more of those later. But you can just leave it like that. It's 2 adults per every 5 children. And most of the time I won't have you do 2. I'll just either have you reduce it or, yeah, just slim it down. But if you have it on a test to recognize equivalent, know that you would just multiply it. Okay, so this is going to be super easy. Let me look at our time. What? I'll let you in just a couple minutes. All right, so here's what you're going to do. It's going to be super simple. You're going to write these ratios as fractions and put them in the simplest form. For example, I'll do this number 2. 9. Everything is in fraction form. 9 over 4. Can that be reduced?
Yes.
How?
No.
No.
I mean, you can reduce it.
I can't. Okay, I'm not talking about the next one. I'm talking about this one. Can this one be reduced?
No.
And again, just like girls to boys, I can't make it 2 1/4. That's not a ratio. It's got 3 numbers. So you must find your answer.
E.
Where is it? It's the letter E. Wait, that's which E? Oh, it's this one right here. Okay, and if you want to go back and put the letter at the bottom, you can. Then the second one, the first one goes on top. It is 20 over 12. And then can that be reduced?
Yes.
Doesn't 4 go into both of them?
Yes.
So divided by 4, divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is what? 5/3. And make sure your answer is there, and that is just a shading in. So where you see the number 4, you would shade it in. Okay. So do you understand how to do those?
Yes.
You're just setting up as a fraction and reducing. Again, first number always goes on top. Now, here's 2. You're going to do these other 2, but I'm going to help you with this one. It says the ratio of red to blue. The red, you go according to the words, not the numbers. I need you to stay focused, sir. I need you to get something done. Okay. All right. The red to the blue. So the red has to go on top over the blue. So let's go through and read this. It says the ratio of red to blue for purple paint made by mixing 24 ounces of red and 28 ounces of blue. Where would the red go?
On top.
On the top. It's going to go on the top, and the blue paint has to go on the bottom. Can that be reduced?
Yes.
I think, is it 4?
Yeah.
It's gonna be 6 or 7.
6, so it's 6 red to every, what did you say, 7 blue. All right, so on this one, 6 7s, and that's right here. So that gets the letter I. And then let's see the difference. It's almost the same wording. You'll probably see something very similar to this when we have our ratio and proportion test. This time they want the ratio of what to what?
Blue to red.
The blue, so the word blue is first. So the blue has to go on top, and the red has to go on the bottom. So where is this red going to go? The 24 ounces.
On top. I mean, bottom.
You have to match it. Yeah, it's going to go on the bottom. And the 28 ounces of blue is going to go on the top. So again, there's some exceptions, but very few, but you always look at the wording of the question. They want the blue to the red. They don't want the red to the blue on this one. And again, divide it by 4, divide it by 4. So this is 7/6. And that one is going to be 7/6 is going to be the letter A. And I'm going to put it right here, and you can fill it out later. Then I would do the puzzle if I were you. Just put your letters here right now. I'm putting them here for you, and then you can do it later. But make sure for sure that your answer is there. Now, when you get down to here, we've already done this kind. It says write the ratio of the 2 measurements in the unit rate indicated. So they want this one, for example, miles per gallon. I have to have miles here and gallons here. So then I'm going to read it. Is a car traveled 300 miles? Where am I going to put the miles?
On top.
On the top. If they want miles per gallon, just let me finish. It's 300 miles. You go according to the wording here. They want it in miles per gallon. Over the gallons, which is 15. By the way, we could do this one mentally.
20.
Yes, you can. How many 15s are in 30? 2. So I can reduce 15 and 30. 15 goes into 15 once. It goes into 30, 2. But what's left over?
0.
Is a 0. So it's going to be 20 miles per every 1 gallon. In fact, they're going to show 20. It really should have said 20 per gallon, but this is it. So this is your, I'll shade this one in. So on the 15, they want you to shade it in.
Miss?
Yes, sir.
You did
Yes, ma'am.
19. Can I do 60 minutes?
I want you all to do 16. I'm going to go down and do this one. So this is the hardest one. The other ones are going to be pretty easy. What's that?
You shaded in 19 instead of
Oops,
15.
and I've got a pen. So I can't erase it, but who told me that?
Trinity.
Okay, so Trinity gets candy too. Okay. All right, so the 15 is right here. All right, so let's go on. So let's do the 19 and the 20, and the other page is going to be easy. So they want dollars per hour. So it's going to be dollars per hour. Gloria earned 144 in 8 hours. Where am I going to put the 144? On the top in 8 hours. But I want the unit rate. I want the rate for 1 hour. So who knows what I need to divide by to get from 8 to 1? From 8 to 1.
8.
I have to divide by 8. That's going to give me 1. And I'm going to divide this by 8. Now, to avoid, because this is the only one that you've got to do any work, to avoid using extra paper, just find a spot close by. I'm going to do it right here. 144 divided by 8. It doesn't go into the first one. It goes into that. You're right, 1. That's going to be 8. Subtract. That's going to be 6 and 4. And then how many times does 8 go into 64? 8. And that goes perfectly. 8 times 8 is 64. So she earns $18 per hour. And is that answer there?
Yes.
Okay, it's right here. So that one's going to get the letter S. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're also going to do this one, and then the rest are going to be simple, easy peasy. Let me just look at the time.
I don't get number 10. I got 3 over 1.
On number 10, it is 3 over 1.
But the answer's not there.
Okay, I'll look at number 10 in a second. Wait for this one. It says, this guy ran this many feet in 4 minutes, but they want your answer in feet per second. So I'm going to put that one, that's a big number, I'm going to put it down here. So feet per second. Okay. Do I know the number of feet he ran? Yes. The number of feet is 5,280. But can I put 4 minutes here when they want it in seconds? You've got to go, very good. I've got to convert those minutes to seconds. So how many seconds in a minute? So I'm going to multiply this by 60.
240.
So that is going to be 240. Okay. And this is kind of a big job, but it's not going to be that big. Is there something that I can cut off at the end? The 0. I can cut that off. And I'm going to go ahead and divide it by 24. I'm going to find a spot. We'll do it right here. So 528 divided by 24. And it doesn't go into that. How many 25s in 50?
Huh?
How many quarters in 50? Because this is close to a quarter.
2.
2. So this is going to go 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48. And I'm given a participation grade. Today I'm going to give you 2 grades. Participation grade, what you're doing in class, and then your actual grade when this is turned in. So this is going to be 52 minus this is going to be 4. And bring that down, that's 8. And you're right, 24 goes with that 2 times. 2 times that is 48. So the answer here is going to be he can go 22 feet per every 1 second. So they're bringing it down to this, like 22 feet. They should have had the correct answer, 22 feet per second. But this is it, L. And this is going to be the L. And again, let me look at our time. Okay, 3:06. Alrighty, so let's see what you're going to do.
Oh, what was the answer?
The answer was 22 feet per 1 second. All right, so flip it to this side. You're not going to do anything else over here. Okay, so nothing else on this side. You are going to finish all of this. And what's that? You're finishing all of these. You're finishing all of them. I did a lot of them with you. I'm trying to see the amount of time that we've got. We don't have time, so you know what? I think what I'm going to have you do, this is really easy. I'm going to have you look at this and do this. These two are easy. And then we'll finish the rest. So you're just going to write the ratio. The length to the width. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. No, just one moment. The length to the width. What do I have to put first?
Length.
The length, which is length to width. On this one, width to length. What do I have to put first? This one's, and I'm going to scoot it over so I have room. The width to length. Girls to boys is girls to boys. That's clear enough. Boys to girls is boys to girls. That's clear enough. But then on this one, on the E, again, you're just doing these in here. On this letter E, what do I have to put it? In fact, I'm going to help you with this one. It's girls to who? It's girls, and I'm going to scoot it over here, put those two over here. It's girls to all. On this I, it's going to be what? Boys to all. In fact, we'll start these two. So this girl one, how many girls are there?
What would wide mean? Would wide mean width or length?
What do you think?
Like,
Okay. Don't be doing that now, because we're doing this right now. So it says that there's 30 students and there's 16 boys. How do I find out how many girls there are?
Oh, Addie?
I'm gonna have 46 girls if there's only 30 students altogether.
14.
If there's 30 students and 16 of them are boys,
Subtract.
you are going to subtract. Multiply. If there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total students in here, and there are 1, 2, 3 boys, how do I find out how many girls? Subtract. So I'm going to take 30 minus the 16 boys, because this is everybody, that's all. And subtract, and you should know this in your head, but it is 14 girls. So over here, to girls to all, how many girls are there?
14.
14. Out of everybody, how many people are there altogether?
30.
30. And then you're going to reduce it. Then, and so this is the letter E. Then on the letter I, how many boys are there?
16.
16. Out of all, how many are there altogether? 30. And that is it, girls and boys. And then reduce it. So you're going to do these 2, 4, 6, and all of this page. And you can begin. Yes, sir, you can go. Yes, ma'am. I will do number 10. On the number 10,
Wait, number 8. I'm ready.
number 8, you should be able to reduce that. 10 is simple. And that answer is actually, did you get 3 over 1? It's right here. Oh, nice. It's right here. Okay?
Thank you.